And I welcome you back to the Dobrinic channel, and tonight we are talking about Lake Mead. We're going to be talking about the water shortage, and we are going to be talking about the Little Pacific Project. So I'll try not to make this real long. I'll try to make it fairly simple, but this lake is in a world of trouble, and there's a whole lot to talk about. And if you are new to this channel and you haven't already, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Please consider giving it a share. Please get the word out, because this is very important to 40 million people. I should at least get 1 million views on this, right? You would think, because, or do people just not care? I don't know. So here we go. Lake Mead is at a crucial point. Lake Mead is falling. It is falling. It is falling. Lake Mead is currently 0.17 feet down from yesterday. So people may not understand what 0.17 feet equals. 0.17 feet equals 2 inches of water lost, gone. Downstream it goes. It goes down to Lake Mojave, then it goes over to Lake Havasu. There's a pumping station south of Havasu that pumps water over to California, to Los Angeles, San Diego, and different parts. San Diego is the only city that has taken measures into their own hand and not rely so much on the Colorado River, and they actually take some of the water from the Pacific Ocean and desalinate it. Now, Los Angeles, on the other hand, much bigger city, more people, they could definitely afford to build desalination plants, but they don't. And all that water that they use from the Colorado, it goes straight out to the ocean to be lost forever into the ocean. Nice, pretty Pacific. Let's go surfing, dude, right? Lake Mead's water level is 1,053.69, and you may be asking yourself, what's the importance of 1,053.69? What does that mean for me? Lake Mead was 1,095.58, and now 40 plus feet later, the lake is at 153.69. For one, you lose megawatt power. So for every foot that's lost, you lose 6 megawatts. So 2 years ago today, you had 40 more feet, and with 6 megawatts, you lost 240 megawatts. Now here's the real kicker. This is the most crucial point that I'm trying to bring home tonight. You are 3.69 feet away from losing 12 turbines at Lake Mead. On this rate, at losing 0.17, and that could fluctuate higher or lower, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, 0.17 feet from today is 17 days. So it's by the end of May, you could possibly be at a tier 2. You're talking 3.69 feet away from losing 12 turbines to be hotter than normal, and evaporation is going to be a key issue. And now you're going to lose 12 turbines, which is going to cause more rolling blackouts for the whole area. Now, Vegas won't have too much to worry about, as I did in a video before where I talked about the Vegas doesn't use a whole lot of Lake Mead's power. I think it's like 3%, so they won't be affected hardly at all, if at all. So Vegas won't be a problem, but other people in California and Arizona that use the power from Lake Mead will. And not to mention that you lost 240 megawatts in the last 2 years. That's like 700 plus days. Now, California is restricting all the water. They're asking 6 million people to cut back their water usage this summer or risk dire shortages. Now, I'm not sure what a dire shortage would look like, but something tells me that there might be mass migrations coming to California because of it. So that's not a good situation whatsoever. They're asking residents to limit outdoor watering to 1 day a week, so there will be enough water for drinking, cooking, flushing toilets months from now. Now, my question is, does that also include golf courses? Does this also say bye-bye car washes? Just out of curiosity. Now, I have made videos on the past about car washes and golf courses, and people are like, well, they recycle their water. Well, some, but I mean, there's still evaporation losses at these places, and water still goes out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the day has arrived. They're asking today. Today was the day. They're saying it's a mega drought on a scale that's not been seen in 1,200 years. Now, I mean, I don't know if they were around over here in 1,200 years ago, but that's what they say. Who knows? This is all a chain reaction. Last year, this all started up at Lake Powell Powell dropped dramatically. Then now it's Lake Mead, and it won't be long before this all goes downstream. Eventually it'll be Mojave and then Havasu, and it's a chain reaction. Let me tell you something. Lake Mojave and Lake Havasu are not near as deep as Lake Mead or Lake Powell. Those hold back much more water than anyone could ever imagine, so that's not a good situation. Over the past 22 years, the Colorado system's seen significant imbalances, supply and demand, and that's the problem. They say climate change, but I mean, really, it's just humans are wasteful, honestly, because why do you use the water and then you just let it run out to the river instead of recycling the water back and put it back into the reservoir like Las Vegas does? Not to give, Las Vegas has its own problems, don't get me wrong, but I mean, why can't you take the water that you use, build new reservoirs, build desalination plants? But have you heard about the Little Pacific project? Has anybody heard about this? This is crazy. I talked about it last year, but the Little Pacific project basically takes water from somewhere over in California along the coast and pumps it over to a national park, which a national park is off limits anyway. So I don't know where they get this crazy notion that Congress is just going to say, yes, we will let you flood a national park out. I just don't see that happening. That would be unprecedented. But this is their proposal. Their proposal was basically to take water from the coast over to the national park of Death Valley and then desalinate it at Death Valley, right? So they can pump it over to Lake Mead, fill Lake Mead back up, and then basically ship it back to California. Does that make sense? Doesn't make sense to me, but that's their thoughts. 20 million people in California that rely on this drinking water. The other 20 million in the Colorado River system, they rely on it. If you could just desalinate it in California, not flood out Death Valley, which is not a great idea in my opinion, and then why not just desalinate it in California, leave it in California, and then you won't have to use your desalination plants much if you would take the desalinated water and recycle that and put it into new reservoirs built not on a river, because building dams on a river they found out is terrible for the ecology of a river. It's just awful because it messes with wildlife and so on and so forth. It's just not a good situation whatsoever. So why not take that and build in valleys and stuff and put new reservoirs in to supply Los Angeles and San Diego? And San Diego has a desalinated plant, but why not take that water and put it over in a valley somewhere, make a dam, and have 2 or 3 dams along that valley? Not only do you have a dam, but now you got recreation that's to help pay for it. You'd have people living there. Everything would be wet. You would definitely make more money in general instead of just letting this water go out, recycle it, and then use that water over and over and over again. And then when you need to, when evaporation gets it or whatever, then let a little go out into the ocean and put a little back in. Use a nuclear plant to power it, and it would be cheaper in the long run, and everybody would be happy. You wouldn't have to worry about people leaving California, and prices might actually come down. You could do this for farming. You could have your golf courses. You could have your car washes. You could have everything that you want. Makes sense. But in the meantime, you got to build these things, which takes a very long time to do. And then you have to solve the problem, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Nobody in Washington, D.C. cares about California except for your representatives in California, to be honest. So you're going to have to convince the rest of America to loan you guys money to fix it, because California is broke. Let's just face it. It's just the way it is, and that's what's going on. And you're going to have people leaving the state, and it's just a terrible, terrible day in California. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you on the next one. God bless, and have a good day.